Good morning, everybody. Mike Vacchi, Princetontrader.com, here with your Monday morning market webcast. Okay, so daily chart. We talked on Friday about the varieties of the 200-day. What you see there is the continuation chart, 200-day exponential moving average, 27.55. On the front month, that was up right around 27.60. Your high was 66.25. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I take that back. It was up at 65.66 area on Friday. The reality of the day was we went up, we did a test of that area, and then it was, they really never looked back to the downside during the course of the regular session. So we can see on the hourly chart, they went up here, 7 a.m. pre-market, tested that 200-day. We had the jobs report come out. They just could never get it back. They could never get it back, and they pushed it to the downside. They took out monthly pivot, which had tried to be support. They couldn't make it support. The hourly mid-band gave it up, and then by the 10, 11, 12 o'clock hour, you had a really nice move down to test the round number 2700. Roundy holds, and you get a little bit of a push back up over the course of the afternoon. So we end up doing, we end up shorting it off jobs, shorting it again off the open, and it just, slowly but surely, we ended up in a 27.25 half short that was really nice as we pushed down into the roundy. So it's about a 43 handle Friday, which I'll take on a Friday, and we hung it up, 230, not 230, more like 315. It got a little choppy into the Friday close, which you would always expect, but it's one of these things where if the 200-day is going to stay resistance, then on a longer term time frame, intermediate to longer term, the bears are going to have a seat at the table. That's just reality. Now, we're a day away from the election. That's tomorrow. That's obviously going to impact the tape, and we'll see how as we get into it. What you can see, what we are doing now is we are testing the daily pivot. The hourly bands are starting to get tight because last night was really basically pretty much a flatline session. You see the new weekly pivot down there at 26.97.25. If the daily pivot, which comes in today in and around 28.29, holds as resistance, then I would expect to see a pushback towards 18. If 18 gives it up, then you have to, during the course of Monday into Tuesday, especially with a volatile inflection point like the election, I would really expect the weekly pivot to get a look, 2,700 to get a look, this low to get a retest. And then, should it hold, then that's something that the dip buyers can really kind of, sink their teeth into. They could say, well, double bottom at the roundy, double bottom at weekly pivot. If it goes the other way, if they give it up, if they lose 2,700, if they lose weekly pivot, then you really got to be looking at, potentially things opening up and we start to go say hello to last week's lows down at 26.03. The bulls would like to avoid all that if they could. And the way they do that is to just walk this thing higher. You got daily pivot, you got monthly pivot, you got this area, the 200-day, steadily take it out. You've got roundy support already. Build on it. The problem is that's what they were doing here, and the move back was fairly violent. So we remain in sell rallies mode. The daily mid-band comes in around 42. That'll be key. That may get a look today. And if we start to bounce around between the daily mid-band and the weekly pivot, that's a nice little 45 handle trading range. I'll take that anytime. So it continues to be a trader's market. It continues to be a market that's very susceptible to headlines, especially this China stuff. And you got a big unknown that's about to be known in the midterm elections. So there's a lot of things for this thing to chop around. There's a lot of big inflection points that I just pointed out to you. There's a lot of reasons for this thing to go everywhere and nowhere all at the same time. We whip up, we whip down, we whip up, we whip down. Don't get yourself chewed up too much if that's the way the price action wants to be, especially on a Monday morning. All right, everybody have a fantastic day. I will be out with stuff on social all day long. Until then, trade them well. Talk to you then. Follow us over on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Princeton Trader. Check us out on Facebook and join us for a free trial at www.princetontrader.com. Trade 'em well.